Hi everybody, Rodrigo Bayonne here again with another amazing segment of All About You. Today we have a very special guest. We have Maryam Habashi. How are you?
Thank you. Perfect.
Awesome. So Maryam is joining us from a company called INFUSE Theory, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. So, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions because there's a lot of interest of what your company consists of, who would be a good fit, catered a client to your company, what you can do for them, what differentiates you from other companies, and a little bit more of knowledge and information about the company itself.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Love it.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So let's start with, I'm just going to go out of order. Ready?
Yeah.
Tell me about the company.
So INFUSE Theory is a business coaching platform, and we specialize in the development of people that are in roles of sales, leadership, need additional tweaking and help, or building a management system. And this is going to be individuals of all levels, whether you're in entry-level sales, whether you're one of the top salespeople in the field, whether you're a new leader, whether you're a CEO of a company.
So let me ask you a question. With all the coaches out there in the industry, right, there's people leaving professional industries trying to become coaches, right? So what sets you apart? What makes you different?
That's an excellent question. When I decided to develop this company, it took me almost a year to build the curriculum. And trying to figure out what I want to name this company, I was overwhelmed to see almost everyone is becoming a coach out there.
Okay.
And a part of me wasn't too excited about that, because I think that we are, as a coach, we are impacting people, and through that we're impacting their lives, their wives and spouses and their children. And you have to be someone who's walk the walk, who's talk the talk, who not only can empathize, also sympathize with what they're going through.
Right.
I think when you're in your 20s and your 30s, how can you come out there and really be a coach to people when you realistically, year-wise, haven't gone through all the steps you need to take as a leader in order to reinvent yourself, in order to tweak who you are and what your best practices has been.
That's awesome. Okay. Let's talk about your background, because I think what you just said kind of carries into the next topic. Tell us about your professional background.
My professional background. I was raised by a single mom, and nationality, I'm Persian. We came into this country when I was 8 and my brother was 3. This woman comes to this country with $500 to her name. Heavy accent. Yes, she has a master's degree, but we all know that you could have a PhD and have a personality of a fish. It doesn't dictate your success in sales or leadership. And here, mom gets her first job flipping burgers in Jack in the Box double shift. We lived in the ghetto part of LA. So you could only imagine what we went through, starting from scratch, having nothing. And today, mom is a self-made millionaire.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was hard on us. She was tough. Succeeding wasn't an option. Winning wasn't a choice. And we had to work at age 15. We started working. So I had my 45th birthday yesterday. So there hasn't been a time thank you, that I haven't worked. And so I started in sales, let's say shoes and jewelry, fine jewelry, then got into banking. At age 23, I got my bachelor's in business marketing, worked for a couple of Fortune 5s. So I was a headhunter for Robert Half International. I worked for Lucent Technologies, back then was business-to-business phone sales. Later on, I got my master's in education, taught for a while, and the goal wasn't for me to be a teacher necessarily in a classroom. I knew my passion is in business, and it's about impacting people and learning and growing to the point that I could impact the masses. So I figured a master's in education is going to help me learn how to educate people properly through the process, knowing that everybody else, everybody has a different learning curve. At age 30, I get into the insurance industry, and what an amazing company. We were 100% commissioned. We had no benefits unless you got into entry-level management. And I remember sitting with this brilliant man who gave me the opportunity in Vegas. And I said, here's my background, here's what I've done. You know, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm also very ethical. My goal is to put you in a better place than where I found you. Put me in management. At least give me benefits. And he said, Habashi, have you ever sold insurance? Have you ever been in the field? Do you know what people need to go through? Do you know the prospecting it takes? And back then it was before the networking and the social media out there. You know, we had to make 300 phone calls a day, knock on doors until our knuckle hurt. And I said, no, I haven't been in the field. He goes, well, you're going to start as an entry-level agent. If you could make X amount of dollars by the end of the year and have X amount of activity, I will promote you into entry-level management. And at that point, you're going to have the opportunity to recruit and create your own team. So by the time I was 35, I had 50 producers on my team.
Wow.
Producers meaning people that are submitting minimum 4 applications, which is low, or more per month. And got the opportunity to come to San Diego with this company. My husband was awesome enough, I've been married for 23 years, to relocate. And at that time I was a mom. I had a 1-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, and an 8-year-old daughter. Came and started the first branch in Mission Valley in San Diego without any partners. And fast forward 8 years later, was it, or 5 years later actually, we were one of the top offices in the country for this Fortune 500 insurance company. And I left there with about 100 producers,
Wow.
3 locations, and the first female regional director in 136 years. And today we still don't have a female in that role, but I couldn't be any more grateful for everything I've learned from that company and the opportunities that were given to me.
Wow.
And then later on, I had an opportunity to work for a Fortune 1000 company, again in the insurance and investment industry, and was the president and CEO of my own brokerage firm, Sterling Wealth Strategies. And then here I am now, taking a risk. And this is my ultimate passion. This is what I loved most about the business, was developing people, was helping you, to find solutions for you, letting you know you're not alone, you're not lost. I'm going to take care of you. Here's what you need to do in all areas and topics relating to sales, leadership, and management system.
I love it. Wow. It's a lot of information. So
Had to give you the background.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So all of that being said, especially towards the end, who would be the ideal client for your company, for Infuse Theory?
The ideal client, we do one-on-one coaching,
Okay.
company coaching, platform speaking, keynote speaking, team training. Right now, subscriptions are a big deal, so we have subscriptions, whether it's a monthly coaching or a weekly coaching. And at the same token, I am creating a mentor platform.
Okay.
So qualified people that have earned the right to be coaches and mentors in my circle, not someone who went and just got a certificate. You know, I'm a big fan of Tom Ferry and John Maxwell, but you know, if someone calls me and says, I'm 20-something years old and I went through this program and I have a certificate, can I be one of your coaches? That wouldn't work for me. I want someone who's gone through the field experience, the leadership experience, whether they're killer salespeople or amazing leaders, to attract to the Infuse Theory team.
Okay.
So they can use my patented PowerPoint presentations in order to develop people for one-on-one coaching. My personal concentration, I would hope, is going to be with companies, small, medium, or large, where I can come in and impact the masses.
Okay. So that being said, let's take a client. So what's a professional client? I don't like to use the word guarantee, but let's use the word guarantee. So what's a professional client guarantee to get from you and your services?
I was thinking about this the other day, right? Back then, when you saw a therapist, it was not a good thing. Today, a lot of people have marriage counselors. You know, they take therapy for better parenting practices. I like to be the business therapist.
Okay.
And we start with the why. You know, here you've committed to a certain role. You've committed to a certain responsibility. Tell me why you're having difficulty executing the plan. Tell me why emotionally you go up and down, especially in sales. Motivation and mindset is really what's going to keep you going every day. So we start with the why. We start with what is important to you. Where do you see yourself? How does your everyday action impact your family, impact you as a team member within this organization? Then we get into what are your areas of strengths? What are your areas that you feel that you have challenges with? And my goal is to tell you what you need to hear, not to tell you what you want to hear.
That's a great answer. I like that. So we're to the point, truth, no fluff, and you're helping people.
Yes.
I love it.
And it's based on things I did great in the field. It's based on mistakes I've made and I've had to learn from. It's based on all these amazing mentors that were bigger leaders and producers than I was and that have taught me everything that I know.
That's great. So in looking at your brochure, you've got a really nice logo.
Thank you.
So give me the definition, meaning, and tell me about your logo.
So INFUSE, I'm going to inject these best practices that are theory, and they're theories that work if you put them into play. And of course, we customize it according to your personality, according to how you want to be projected out there, because that could be different than what I think. And so it's INFUSE theory, and a lot of people ask, where is this pair coming from? Because we're going to pair up.
Exactly.
And that's where the pair comes from.
I like it. Let me ask you one more question, and I'm going to have to open my book because this is one of those tough questions I have to read. So, Maryam, what are your thoughts about where we are going as a society in relation to some of the feedback that leaders are providing?
This is a deep question.
Very deep.
And I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. Right now, we've become a society where we care more about being liked, being accepted, having more likes on our posts, having more followers, worried about what we might say and how it could reflect our review on some sort of platform or Yelp or etc. And I find that challenging because when you're in a position to give feedback to others, be honest, be real, at the same time be political. The goal is to never hurt anyone. But if you sometimes have to say something that someone can't see or doesn't want to hear, but you know if you tell them, you love them enough and for them to be successful, then forget about possibility, what they might think about that feedback and how they might take it negatively. Give it to them because they're going to have time to reflect on it and hopefully one day thank you for it.
I love it.
That's where my heart sits.
I love it. Wow. Well, this has been an amazing interview. Maryam, I thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure speaking with you and learning about INFUSE theory. So how do people get a hold of you? Let's let them know.
So www.infusetheory.com. You see my personal email in there, which is mhabashi@infusetheory.com. You can call me. I would ask everyone who's awesome enough to follow me on Instagram, which, by the way, I just opened as the company launched. In my prior role, I did not really need to use Instagram, and I see how vital it is today. Definitely LinkedIn, I've been a fan of, and I'm on LinkedIn. Facebook for INFUSE Theory, and recently the videos we're releasing on a weekly basis on the YouTube channel under INFUSE Theory.
Amazing. All right, guys, you heard it. Maryam with Infuse Theory. Thank you so much for joining us. Pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.